Kurt Rambis, they've all retired. Today, James Worthy joined them. Pat Riley called him the best to ever play the small forward position. Magic said, quote, "I compare him to Larry Bird as the best fundamental players I've ever seen."
This is, probably the happiest day of my life, but at the same time, it's probably a sad occasion because I'm leaving something that's been my life, and in leaving that, you have to move on to something else. And
Worthy's retirement all but closes the book on the great Lakers, Celtics, and Pistons teams of the 80s. We're going to have more on that later. The others who played on the 87-88 title team, Billy and Michael Thompson, Wes Matthews, Jeff Lamp, Milt Wagner, and who could forget Mike Smrek.
What's the retirement of James Worthy? He's really part of an unanswerable question. If Worthy was not in the shadow of others, would his talents have been more recognized or more scrutinized? He had his teammates, two of the best to ever play the game, Jordan in college, Magic in the pros. As the final link to LA's Showtime titles calls it a career, Jack Edwards puts the entire spotlight on the man known as Big Game James.
Showtime ended a long time ago. This is just the last curtain call for a member of its spectacular cast. James Worthy was the ultimate rich-get-richer story, the only #1 overall pick who has gone to the defending NBA champions. It made a sweet segue for the man who was the most outstanding player of the 1982 NCAA tournament, winning that award over a teammate named Jordan. Worthy arrived with the schooled fundamental skills which made him an instant fit on a tremendous team. He would become #2 on the all-time Lakers steals list behind only Magic, and he would trail only Kareem and Elgin Baylor among front-court players in career assists for LA. His trademark was the way he lifted the ball before finishing with ferocious force. Pat Riley said of him, "When he was in his prime, I can guarantee you there wasn't anybody who could touch him." From 1987 through 92, Worthy was the picture of consistency, averaging no fewer than 19.4 points per game for a season, no more than 21.4. When LA ended the NBA's 18-season streak of no-repeat champions in 1988, he was the finals MVP. But just as the salary cap had brought Boston down brutally, and as it would later drag Detroit below 500, it was a factor in the fall of the Lakers. LA lost Magic to HIV, Kareem to retirement, and didn't deal Worthy when he still had value. The last 2 seasons were spent in decline, both for the team and for the player. The Lakers are paying out the $12.4 million which remains on Worthy's contract for the next 2 years, which means LA is paying an awful lot for services no longer being rendered. LA got value from James Worthy: 12 seasons, 3 rings, the last connection to Showtime, a dynasty which generated glitter but won glory with its grit. He takes the last curtain call and is worthy of the honor.
And with that, Jack, the main ingredients of the great Carolina title team in '82 all but gone, but for Sam Perkins, who remains looking for his first NBA title ring. Of course, the ringleader, Dean Smith, keeps going in Chapel Hill, his 94-95 Heels.
Was on the basketball court, but here are a couple of shots off the court. James has become an avid golfer the past few years. He was always an attraction at charity tournaments. You may not know it, but this is James. He portrayed a Klingon in an episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation. And of course, on the court, James could always finish the fast break as a member of 3 Laker championship teams. He joked today about how he'll be remembered with the likes of Kareem and Magic.
Definitely. Everybody's going to be remembering Michael Jordan. But I'll probably, by that time, I probably will have grown an ego by that time. So I'll probably be talking about just myself and my MVP year in '88 and how much I made Magic and Kareem a lot better player. Probably by that time, that's what I'll be telling them.
We'll have much more on playoff MVP and a 7-time All-Star. Laker forward James Worthy did it. He announced his retirement today. James Worthy isn't the first player you think of when Laker Showtime basketball comes to mind. But when you think again, Magic was the beginning of the sentence, Kareem the subject and the predicate, Worthy the period to complete the sentence. Perhaps no one finished the fast break better than Big Game James.
Having that third strong player with really not a dominant place to put him, I just became, part of the team and an assassin when necessary.
Him and Dr. J were probably the best 2 on the break, finishing the play in the history of basketball.
Big Big Game James is the perfect nickname. In 12 seasons, Worthy averaged over 17 points in the regular season, but over 21 points in the playoffs. When the big game was on the line, James was there.
I think it was 87, the dive. To me, that was a big play because it was a play of anxiety. You know, playing against the Celtics was like going to battle with a foreign country.
The former #1 pick from North Carolina has had to adjust the past few years. Slowed by knee injuries, the 33-year-old forward was relegated to contributing off the bench. The recent passing of his mother hurt during training camp, but overall, James had just given basketball all he had to give.
This is a day that I'll always remember. I can remember 12 years ago when I signed at Loyola, and I'll remember today as my last day as a Laker.
James had a great ride. Clippers play their home opener.
With the retirement of James Worthy, a great era in Lakers basketball has passed. Now one of the youngest teams in the NBA, the new Lakers, must establish an identity of their own and find a way to continue the legacy of the great teams of the past. And with the help of talented young players like Eddie Jones, Cedric Ceballos, Nick Van Exel, and George Lynch, the Lakers are displaying the competitive fire necessary to meet the challenge. So stay tuned for the excitement when the Lakers meet the Warriors next